Well, welcome back. Mr. George Aluo joins us now. He's a roving sports editor for the Sun newspapers. Thank you for coming on this morning. Well, yes, indeed. I mean, football, we understand. Nigerians are very passionate about football, and perhaps it might have been a long time coming for them to have come to this conclusion that Stephen Keshi, okay, what happens to his position now? But let's put it in context. The match yesterday, yes, we lost the match. We're at the bottom of the table. That's a fact of the matter. But let's get your perspective first. What do you think, from what you saw of that match, is that all you think we could offer?
Well, Eagles were poor, we must be frank about it, and they are being poor didn't come to me as a surprise, because if you look at the list, when Keshi released that list ahead of the game in Khartoum, you begin to wonder why bringing 5 new players in a game that is very crucial. 5 journeymen that have not played for Nigeria before now. And you begin to wonder why the coach should be experimenting at a time that we needed to salvage a bad situation. After losing 2 games in Calabar, losing again in Calabar and drawing away to
South Africa. Wasn't it as a result of those who got injured and could not make the team? Because they invited Moses was injured. Yes. Babatunde couldn't make the team. And then,
but he had released the team. He had released the team list even before these players got injured. So, if you look at it, Keshi is not getting it wrong. He's getting it diametrically wrong. So, the result we are getting is as a result of poor planning on the part of the technical crew of the Super Eagles. No doubt about that.
But in terms of, with respect to that comment of him getting it wrong, from the mindset of Nigerians, it looks as though he's been getting it wrong even before we won the Nations Cup.
Well, if you look at it, he has been, to a large extent, Keshi did well before and during the Nations Cup. Although, the point is this, element of luck saw us winning the Nations Cup, no doubt about that. The best
even when nobody gave him a chance.
Yes, nobody gave him a chance. The best game we played during the Nations Cup, you have to go back to South Africa 2013, was against Cote d'Ivoire in the quarterfinals. All the other games we virtually struggled, even in the finals. But give it to him, we won the Nations Cup. But since after that Nations Cup, the team has not performed well under Keshi. The only match that we won since after the Nations Cup was the game against Bosnia, which was even controversial. Because if Zeko's goal was allowed, which was a good goal by any standard.
But the officials said it was not a goal.
The officials said it was not a goal. So we were lucky in winning Bosnia. And since after that time, we have not won any game. The only match that we have won convincingly under Keshi since after the Nations Cup was the game against Ethiopia in Calabar. Look at it. In the last 12 games, in the last 8 games, we've not won any. We've not. At the World Cup, we struggled to win one. And look at the oppositions who have been pitched against in this Nations Cup qualifier. We are not winning. So I think it is time we tell ourselves the gospel truth. Already we've been messed up. We have a bad situation on our hand. And if I were to be in the board of the Nigerian Football Federation, Keshi will not sit on the bench for the game against Sudan in Abuja.
Who will?
Because let me tell you, this business of football is all about hiring and firing. A coach is as good as his last game. There's no sentiments about it. And I know that, for truth be told, the hands of even the new NFF board are tied.
How?
Because Keshi has got godfathers who are working for him. If not for those godfathers, by now Keshi should have been history. And he should know that if he is not even sacked, he should take a walk. He has failed the nation. He has run out of ideas. And this is a self-inflicted injury because Keshi is not using some of our best legs for whatever reasons, best known to him. Because you don't bring journeymen from China, Austria to come and play for this country when we have people who are playing top flight football in different parts of the world. For reasons, selfish reasons, Keshi does not want to bring Keshi back to the team. Obafemi Martins is scoring goals like one of your viewers said out there in America. And so many other players that we could call on to come and salvage the situation for Nigeria. So why shut them out of the team? You saw what it took for him to bring in Osaze Odemige during the World Cup. A lot of pressure was mounted. And at the end of the day, Osaze was the only one that saved us during the World Cup. And the same Keshi surprisingly said that Osaze was not playing to instruction.
But he's the coach, so it's up to him to decide
he's the coach.
What instructions did he give that he didn't play to?
Football is like pregnancy. It doesn't hide. When you are doing well, people will see it. So look at the kind of lethargic performance we had against Sudan.
How many?
I mean, our football has dropped to the level where we are now losing to Sudan. And that means taking our football back 51 years.
But, you know, there's also some home truths that so many people don't know. How were we able to win our previous matches way before now? And because when last did Nigeria play that fantastic football that we see?
Yeah,
but sometimes
the truth,
the element of luck has always played a large
the element
part.
Well, the truth is that we've got the players. We are not lacking in players.
Now, two things pop up there.
Yes.
Having the players
if
and
you
the
look
coaches,
at, if you look
the
at
coaches'
it,
dexterity.
if we had gone to the World Cup with our best legs, we would have done a lot better. Why drop Sunday Mba during the World Cup, for instance? Why drop Ikeuchi? And then you took players that had no business being in the team?
I thought he was speaking about the question of discipline.
Okay.
Which coach wants to take
in the case of Sunday Mba, how come all the players playing under Keshi have suddenly become undisciplined? How come?
But
he's having issues now with Emenike. He's having issues with Ikeuchi. He has been having that. And he had issues with Sunday Mba ahead of the World Cup. So a good manager would accommodate these players irrespective of their behaviors. The late Christopher Odemezuo tolerated Etimesin when he was national team coach. The coaches that are handling Balotelli are tolerating him despite his shortcomings. Even Suarez, the biting man, Barcelona's team went to spend millions on him despite his shortcomings.
If you've got
so you've got to tolerate
if you've got 31 goals, which coach will not tolerate you?
Exactly.
How many goals?
Keshi should learn to tolerate our players in the national interest. We cannot be struggling when we have good players that can deliver for us.
The Balotelli was on the bench. He's been coming from the bench last few times.
Yes, but despite Balotelli,
Italy has dropped him.
Liverpool had to sign him on.
But Italy has dropped him.
So what we're saying here, Chamberlain, is that Keshi, truth be told, is getting it wrong. He has run out of ideas. And I think if you look at the statistics, since after the Nations Cup, we have not been winning. So in the nation's interest, nobody can be bigger than this country. And come to look at it, this was even a coach who during the World Cup told us after the game against France that he was done. Most of the crises that happened before our game against France was precipitated by this same Keshi. Because he was the one that was instigating his players to go to ask for their money.
Okay, let me even bring this in. Because
let me tell you this. He told us after that game that 10 countries were looking for him and that he was done with Nigeria. So for Christ's sake, let Keshi go to those countries that were looking for him.
Well,
and then we as a nation should move forward. And that is the truth.
Let me even
because
ask.
It is the nation's interest that should come first ahead of any other person's interest.
Well, there are two schools of thought on this one. There are several journalists, sports journalists, who have said, look, they haven't been able to see his technical depth even before he won the Nations Cup. And then there are others who jump on this bandwagon effect, oh, we've lost this match, we're bottom on the table, please go. But the thing about it is this, I mean, ever since Westerhoff, which coach has coached the Nigerian team to the extent that Nigerians can say, this was the style of play when this coach coached us? So what do we even rely on now? Is it the coach's technical depth, or we have this player scoring here, just bring whichever player is scoring and he'll come and score?
No, it's not as easy as that. Chamberlain, let's go back. I'm not saying that Keshi has not done well in the past, but he has allowed his personal ego to overshadow his sense of judgment, and it is not good for a coach. Keshi has done well. He won the Nations Cup for us. He qualified us for the World Cup. But let me tell you, in this business of football, if you do well, you retain your job. But the moment you are not doing well, you take a walk. So Westerhoff did well. Keshi has done well for Nigeria. But as it is at the moment, I don't think we still need a Keshi to remain as a national team coach. And if you look at it, the man is even quarreling with every member of the technical department of NFF. Chris Green does not want him. Paul Bassi, our colleague, does not want him. Garba Lawal does not want him. Victor Ikpeba does not want him. So if all these people are saying that the man has run out of ideas, then it means that he has a fault. Look at the World Cup, for instance. Nigeria was the only country that went to the World Cup with only 2 coaches, Stephen Keshi and Amokachi. And look at Brazil's bench, for instance, and look at that of Holland. They had the Patrick Kluivert of this world there. They had ex-internationals. But this is a Keshi that does not want one ex-international to come around the team. So, and nobody has monopoly of knowledge. Even as you are here, Chamberlain, you don't have the monopoly of knowledge. You have to work. The late MK Abiola says nobody claps with one hand, and that is the truth. So, but Keshi wants to clap with one hand, and it's not done anywhere in the world. Because you've made yours. He has made himself an island, and I think the earlier he realizes that, the better for us. But he is not in any way realizing it. He sees himself as an emperor, and the truth is that he is not even paying allegiance to the FA, as it were, that is the Nigeria Football Federation, because he
but they just come on board.
Yeah, but even if you look at the new board, they are not none of them is a fan of Keshi. I'm sure that the hands of the FA is even tied, because, and the danger of it is that Keshi knows that he has godfathers who are protecting him, and so the FA cannot do anything to him. And at the end of the day, Nigeria football is the one that is suffering. So I think the FA should do the needful. And the needful is for us to go for a new manager. Because the moment you have a manager that believes he knows it all, a manager that believes that he has performed, and as such, he should destroy a house that he has built. I mean, Keshi has been building, he told us he has been building a new team. For how long is he going to build this team? By now, we should have a solid national team that we can rely on and beat our chest to say, yes, this is a good team. You understand me? So we're already down, and we don't need to fear any fall. So it is time for us to rebuild. And I think the crisis in Nigerian football even contributed to all this, Chamberlain, because if we had an FA in place after the World Cup, by now Keshi would have been history and would have had a new coach.
Because, I mean, at that time, you know, you have people wondering, because if we played 11 games, how many games have we won ever since? How many have we drawn?
And like I said, so, it's just the game against Bosnia that we won, and it was even a controversial victory. We are playing lethargic football under Keshi. So we need to do a change. Even if we qualify, because we still have a mathematical chance of qualifying. Unfortunately, we have gone back to the era of mathematics. Even if we qualify, Chamberlain, because if we win against Sudan at home, believing that South Africa will beat Congo in Cape Town, it means that Congo will remain on 6 points and that Nigeria will come to 4 points. And if we beat South Africa in Uyo, November 19, it means that we'll now need to take the game in Congo, which is not a mission impossible. So we could still qualify. But this national team needs a new bread. By the time we'll have a new coach, we will now be able to go to... Because if we struggle and qualify for Morocco under Keshi, we will not get any result.
All right. Okay, thank you for coming on. George Aluo is the Reverend Sports Editor for The Sun newspapers. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away.